Alright everybody, it is late. I think it's after midnight, but I had forgotten about the making of the ginger candy, and I will get started with that. We're going to check on the watermelon. It was pretty much done earlier. I turned it off. I turned it back on to get all the moisture out so I can seal it in this bag. Something I got to say about the ginger. When you buy ginger, try to find the one with the less fingers on it. See how the fingers are on here, but they're kind of gapped, because when you get them like this with a whole bunch of fingers on it, because this was actually a couple of pieces, really hard to peel. And I did the spoon method and peeled it with the spoon. It was alright. I usually use a potato peeler. The spoon seemed to get a lot less of the ginger. It was like a little bit easier to peel. We're going to have to slice that up, but let's take a little look at the watermelon here. We'll see how it's doing, and we'll get this out of the way. Look at that. Looks like red meat. But that is, you'll see what I'm talking about here. Real rubbery. But as we let it sit here and cool off, it should crisp right up. You'll see that there's some pieces missing. Had to do some sampling today, and it was good. So I'm just putting it down here on the plate to let it cool off. If there's any seeds in it, don't worry about it. Like I said earlier, the seeds have fully dehydrated and they're like a little nut. We will let this kind of keep them separated a little bit, because they are hot from the dehydrator, and see if we can't get them a little bit crispy. See, even I made them thicker, they're still sticking to the dehydrator. We'll go ahead and turn it off. Okay. And I tried some earlier, and man, oh man, even though it was rubbery, I just took it off the dehydrator. It's like a fresh baked cookie. When you take them out of the oven, how they're chewy and gooey and rubbery, and that's how these are. And as they cool off, just like a cookie, they will get crispy and delicious. So we'll let these sit here for a few minutes. I'll finish taking these off, so I'm not wasting a lot of time with the video. See how it looks? That is some good stuff right there, folks. Anyway, I'll be right back. Alright, I got it all taken care of. Put it all, whole half a watermelon fit in this little baggie. I left one out to show y'all. Just crispy. It just breaks. And it is good. Put that in there. You want to get it, when you get it off your hot dehydrator, you want to get it into a plastic container or a baggie like this as soon as it cools, because moisture is not a friend of dehydrated products. I also like to sometimes just put a little paper towel in there. What it'll do is kind of gather up the moisture if there's any moisture, and keep it nice and fresh. And there's like a whole week's worth of snacks there if you go to work like I do. And there you have it. Now we're going to start working on the ginger. Now I usually slice it with a knife, but this time I'm going to use the mandolin just to see how well it works. And I'll be right back. I'll get everything set up for y'all. Alright, so it took me a few minutes to figure out what's the thickness I wanted to get for the mandolin. And using mandolins can be fairly dangerous. So what I went with was the medium slice. So I usually, it's not good, I'm not going to tell you how to do this. Don't hold this in your hand and do this. I will do it until it gets a little bit down, and then I will use the safety guard. So this is not a smart way to do it. I have sliced my hand many times before on other mandolins, not this mandolin, but just want to slice it all up. What we're going to do, let me see what we got going on here. That's still kind of thin. Well, let me get a thicker one. Put this off over here. What is this one here? This one is thin. Let's do the thick. Oh, no, not that one. Let's do the thick slicer and see what happens. See how that looks. So, yes, y'all are going to truly enjoy this. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's about right. I went with the thick slices, but it's really not that thick. It's still thin. And I'm going to attempt to try to figure out how to use this safety on it. I'm supposed to stick them in these little prongs here. And we'll see how that works out. But let's see here. Well, it didn't work like I wanted it to, but it worked. I might have to break out the knife for some of these. Yeah, that's not working too well. But y'all get the idea. I will continue to slice this up, and when I get all these sliced up, I'll get back with you, and we'll go from there. All right, I'll be right back. All right, got them all sliced up, and you're going to want to put them in a pot, kind of covered in water. I'm doing it a little differently. The rules are you're supposed to do 1 pound of ginger and 1 cup of water, but I cannot find the scales to weigh how much this is. I think it's at least 1 pound or more. And you want to boil this. Get it to a rolling boil and to put it on simmer for 30 minutes. You want your ginger to be good and tender for the next step. And then, so like if you have, the next step is if you have 1 pound of ginger, you will need 1 pound of sugar. I think that's how it goes. Or 1 cup of ginger to 1 cup of sugar or something like that. So once I get this stuff tenderized and drained down, I will do the next step. We'll see what happens. But I can assure you it's going to turn out good. Alright guys, still on the ginger candy. I drained it. And that's the juice from cooking it for 30 minutes. I cooked it a little bit longer because my chips were a little bit thicker than I think they should have been. Because you want it to be nice and tender. And what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to weigh it. And if you have, like I said earlier, if you have 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds of ginger, then that's how much sugar you use. And you put it in a pot and with the sugar, and you have to constantly stir this stuff because that sugar will burn. And you put it on, I'm gonna put it on low, and you just keep stirring it, and the water will start to evaporate, and it'll turn the sugars into crystals, and it'll stick to all your ginger. And then you put it on a cookie sheet and spread it out, and you let it cool for a good half hour or so, and it's delicious. But there's something else with this. There's going to be a lot of crystallized sugar left over, and you save that separately. I'll show you when I get done. And you can put that in your coffee or sprinkle it on sugar cookies or something, but it's real spicy, gingery sugar. And I put it in coffee one time. It's really good. But I'll be back, guys. So this is what we're going to put the ginger candy on when it's done. It's still boiling, and I'm still constantly stirring. it's getting thicker and thicker like a syrup, and you just want to keep boiling till that water is all out of there. So let me tell y'all again, you get your ginger and you peel it and you slice it thin, but you want to get about 1 pound, and you're going to put it in a saucepan and boil your ginger for 30 minutes. And then after you do that, you save a 1/4 cup of water. So if you have a pound of ginger, you're going to get a pound of sugar and put in with it, and a 1/4 cup of the water from when you boiled the ginger, and you put it in a saucepan and you get it to start to boil like that, and you turn the heat down and you just keep constantly stirring it, and eventually it'll crystallize. Then you put it out on here, and then all the flakes will drop to the bottom of this, and you want to save those flakes because they're sugar. They're ginger flavored sugar, and like I said earlier, you can put it in your coffee, you can put it in your tea, put it on cookies, what have you, but it's really good. But as soon as it starts boiling down a little bit more, I'll be right back. Oh, one more thing, get a pen and paper when I come back, and I'll give you a couple other pointers you want to write down. All right, you can see it's down to just hardly any liquid in it at all. You just keep stirring until that sugar turns back to crystallization, or whatever you want to call it, and we'll go from there. Well, keep stirring it. You don't want it to burn, because that sugar will burn on the bottom of that pan as that liquid evaporates out. Still got a little bit of liquid, but it's starting to crystallize. Alright, what I wanted y'all to write down was, if you use Google Good Eats, GOODEATS, and right after the word Good Eats, put in ginger candy, and it'll be probably the very first link that pops up, and click on it, and there's a video on there. It's Alton Brown. I love watching Alton Brown, and I'm doing the exact same recipe he is. He does it a little bit more better. He explains it a little bit better than what I'm doing, but I'll be back as soon as I get this stuff crystallized up and dumped out. So give me a minute. Alright, we're just about finished. You see there's no liquid left in the pot. Just fire down low and crystallized sugar. I'll be right back. Alright guys, this is the final product, ginger candy. It is crispy, sweet, and spicy. And if you look underneath, you see all that sugary goodness. Put that in a little container. Like I said earlier, save it for your cookies, your coffee, your tea. And you want to store these not in a Ziploc baggie, but in a plastic container with a paper towel in the bottom of it to keep them crispy. You put them in a Ziploc baggie, the Ziploc baggie will retain a little moisture, and these things will get soft and soggy, and then they're not good eats. Anyway, God bless y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hit the like button and subscribe for me and share the video. And I want to say, if y'all have a recipe that's short and easy and quick and y'all want me to try it out, I will videotape it and make it, and we'll see how it turns out. Shoot me an email. My email is lestex6711@gmail.com. So it's Les Tex. My first name is Les. I live in Texas. So Les Tex 6711 at gmail.com. Shoot me your recipe, and we'll try to make it. It's a DIY homestead DIY with L&T. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all take it easy. Like I said, God bless y'all. Tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know what tomorrow brings. Now I have a mess to clean up over here, because Teresa's coming home in a couple of days, and I want it to be nice and clean. All right, guys, y'all take it easy.